Another week, another Integrity Knight fight. Time for Kirito and Eugeo versus the Golden Knight Alice. So what's up guys, Foxen here. But first, Kirito versus Fanatio, that cliffhanger from last week. You're getting 2 Integrity fights this week for the price of 1. And by the way, definitely be sure to like the video and subscribe for more juicy weekly SAO videos from a hardcore SAO fan. So let's go ahead and get started. SAO Alicization episode 16. Only 8 more to go. At the start of this, the finale of Kirito vs Fanatio. Oh yes, Kirito's Shikai unleashed. And yes, Kirito for the win with the black Getsuga of his. Technically a win, but both of these knights did go down. Does Kirito count as a knight now? Perhaps an honorary one. Overall, it was actually a pretty quick finale to that Integrity Knight fight. By the way, for the heavily piercing sword versus the Night Sky sword, here's something not mentioned in the anime, that Kirito's sword was technically a perfect matchup. Recall the origins of the sword? That's right, once upon a time he had that demon tree just greedily absorbing all of the sun goddess's light, turning it into energy. But anyway, Kirito succeeded in smashing that Fanatio knight real good, and goddamn she just got sent flying. Something interesting to notice is that some sort of symbolism with Kirito smashing the goddess painting on the ceiling. Better watch out Kirito, you're going up against the Underworld gods. So, I definitely want to hear from you. What do you think about Kirito's perfect weapon control? Does it fit Kirito, or did you expect something else? To be honest, I originally did expect something a little different, although a black Getsuga does suit this black swordsman very well. At least I think so. As for Eugeo, switching over to his side, he's mostly a-okay. Unfortunately, Mr. Swiss Cheese Kirito was leaking blood everywhere. Poor Eugeo couldn't plug up Kirito's hole with that magic sauce of his. I do really like how Eugeo didn't hesitate at all, just returning the favor with that life-transferring sacred arts from before. Too bad that Eugeo didn't get his very own young Alice visual, just like Kirito did a few years back. As for Eugeo's conflict here, they actually expanded on his frustrations from the last episode regarding the knights. It really does boil down to Eugeo seeing them now as humans, not some faceless, emotionless knight servants. I mean, just look at Fanatio. She has been serving Quinella as an Integrity Knight, but still, she has her own repressed thoughts and feelings about one day finding love. Kirito's counseling here doubles down on the Integrity Knights having this eternal conflict themselves. Also, some very nice foreshadowing with Kirito dropping the line about their commander. Oh, cannot wait. Now for the Eugeo Blizzard Ice Aftermath. You guys were worried about Fanatio, but how about those knights just chilling? Or should I say freaking Popsicles about now? Also, how about Fizzo and Nino? Both of these kitties were flat on the ground, so hopefully they avoided getting frosty somehow. And about these 2 knight apprentices, they were really only a quick mention in the anime, they didn't even show them. In the novel, Eugeo actually smashed their weapons, and gave them about 70% of that paralysis cure. Eugeo estimated they had about 10 minutes to get the hell away from them. Oh, and Eugeo was sure to double check that they had no more weapons too, just in case. As for Kirito trying to rescue the Integrity Knight Fanatio, I mean, after all he said about her being human, how couldn't he at least try? Gotta save Fanatio, her beloved senpai hasn't noticed her yet. So yes, Kirito really wants to save all of his opponents. Will it also be the same with the nudist Quinella? So yes, Kirito right here really reminded me of Ichigo from Bleach. Just always trying to rescue whatever opponent he almost died against. I mean, going as far as using that precious dagger from Cardinal. Come on guys, you have 1 left. So let me know what you think about Kirito trying to rescue people. To be honest, it does seem foolish. Then again, I probably try to do the same as Kirito, at least I hope I would. At the very least, that ultra rare dagger became 2 max heal potions, plus 2 potions to the inventory. Hey Cardinal, you should have really given them a gallon of this stuff. Cause really, this potion stuff is amazing. It even healed up Kirito's whole field jacket. That is some top level healing potion. By the way, about the Quinella stuff mentioned, this actually goes back to Quinella spending most of her time sleeping on that best buddy bed of hers. Recall that she previously had this storage problem. One of the ways she found around this was just to minimize the stuff she does on a day-to-day basis. Then she just deletes the memories that aren't important. It's like cleaning out your computer. Cardinal also mentioned the fact about there being only a few nights left. She definitely knows her stuff. On the higher floors, there's only Alice and the captain commander of the Knights, Bercoli, although he's busy doing something right now. Other than them, it's really just Quinella and her best buddy, the Clown. Most of the other Integrity Knights are usually stationed at the mountain range. Next scene up, the elevator girl, the one from the opening. I do like how Kirito was super casual about them being intruders against the church. Yeah, let's just go ahead and tell her, then see how she reacts. I know some of you have been asking whether this place had a freaking elevator, so here you go. Modern technology does exist, kind of. The only thing missing right here is some lovely elevator music. And by the way, just goddamn, that animation on Eugeo right here took a massive hit. They must have had the C-team on this scene. I'm really hoping they fix this on the Blu-ray. But back to Miss Elevator here. To be honest, her little tale from the novel was pretty sad. Quinella pretty much stripped her of everything, basically making her into this NPC. I mean, she doesn't even have a name. Oh, but Quinella, isn't she so generous? The poor girl is still allowed a lunch break and to sleep. I could bet you that Quinella just didn't bother looking around for the sacred arts to remove that, and eventually just forgot about this girl. I mean, who uses this elevator? So here's something to wonder about. What would happen to her if Quinella did disappear? For Kirito and Eugeo, she's really just another poor soul to save. Anyway, before their cloud top adventure, oh Eugeo, you're so carefree. Let's defeat Quinella, then Cardinal will take care of everything, including the Underworld. Although he's not wrong. Of course, Cardinal wants to do a full-on Thanos on this world. That'll be a little awkward for Kirito to explain later. Yeah buddy, let's talk about that way later, Eugeo. Next up, let's welcome back the Golden Knight Alice. So you just had a calm Alice here meditating. It was Eugeo's turn to stab his own knight. Unlike in the 50th floor that had 5 knights, Alice really is her own one-knight army. Poor Eugeo too, his heart being almost ripped out just by the sight of Alice. Come on Eugeo, you gotta knock Alice out then throw your Pokeball at her. Oh wait, wrong series. As for Alice here, looking as stunning as ever. Really cannot wait for some of her figures to come out. Unfortunately for Kirito and Eugeo, Alice has mastered her Bankai. Can you say Zenbon Zakura? Is this McDonald's? Cause I'm loving it. It really reminds me of Byakuya's Shikai or Bankai move. And to be honest, with Bleach gone, I'm really enjoying this even more now. Hey Alice, just try controlling that with your hands, it'll double the speed. Let's see how many Bleach fans get that. For Kirito here, gotta love how quick he is at making up this bullcrap. Oh Miss Alice, please forgive my disrespect. I formally challenged thee to the fairest of duels, one-on-one. As for Alice's Fragrant Olive Sword's origin, how nice of you to share the details when asked. So yes, her sword's origin was actually also this divine tree, the oldest in the Underworld. Which is stronger, Kirito's log or Alice's rod? For the actual fight, Kirito was being thrown around like a freaking ragdoll. Clearly this guy is no match against Alice. Alice at this point should be the second strongest knight. Move over, Fanatio. Just recall back that Alice had no problems carrying both of their swords, plus her own divine weapon. Kirito can't even lift his Night Sky sword and the Blue Rose sword at this point. But don't count out Kirito just yet. Kirito was pulling that gentleman move on Alice. I gotta love seeing him play dirty. Naturally, a knight like Alice wouldn't have expected that. Just gotta stab her real quick. Although come on Eugeo, you freaking messed up not frosting Alice's divine sword. I do have to mention that I do like how Kirito restrained Alice. In the novel, I just pictured him pinning her down on the ground. I'm glad that didn't happen. Anyway, that freaking finale. What a cliffhanger, quite literally. Definitely better than last week's, and perhaps the best of season 3 so far. Alice and Kirito just got vacuumed out of that exploding tower. Whoops. Is that a double suicide? And then to make matters worse, you had the wall healing itself. I wouldn't want to be Eugeo at that moment. Overall for this episode, I did love seeing the matchup versus Alice, but I do have to bring up one complaint about this matchup. This Alice fight was clearly a step down in animation from the last 2 Integrity Knight fights, especially when compared to the Crimson Knight one. For that, I am a little disappointed. I really wish they saved up more for this Alice battle than the Crimson Knight one. I mean, that guy's not that important. I mean, just throughout this episode, you did see some lower quality shots, which I could deal with, but I was just hoping they were stepping up some of the resources for this Alice fight. Now I'm actually getting a little worried about the upcoming Bercoli and Quinella fight. How is that gonna look? Fingers crossed that they actually redraw some of this stuff entirely for the Blu-ray. Next up, let's talk about some of the changes from the light novel going into the SAO Alicization anime. Once again, I am happy to say that there's only minor differences. First off is the Fanatio aftermath. Fanatio in the novel was described to be much worse. She had more holes in her body, really from her own damn attack. And then she got burnt up even more from Kirito's Black Getsuga. In the anime version, she only had like this massive hole in her gut, but not as crispy. Next up, sticking with this scene is something regarding Eugeo. When Kirito was actually trying to rescue her, just calling out, he included this line saying that I have to rescue her even if it meant I die. At this moment, Eugeo really started to wonder what Kirito meant by that. Kirito was someone from the Underworld, so Kirito dying shouldn't be any different from him dying, or anyone else dying. Basically, throughout this, he had Eugeo just wondering. He wondered even more about this when Kirito just stepped on the elevator, and also just before they stepped into the fight with Alice. The thing about Cardinal that he would explain later. Oh Eugeo, you're not gonna be happy about this, but at least you're included in the people that Kirito wants to save. Next up, staying on the 50th floor, when Kirito was chatting with Cardinal, some of Quinella's pet bugs appeared and freaked out Eugeo. Eugeo did step on one of them, but then he tried to run away, cause bugs. In other words, Quinella was very much aware about them getting closer and closer, despite her snoozing away like a Snorlax. Obviously in this episode, that didn't show up at all, and I could totally see why they cut that out. Next, the last little bit is Kirito versus Alice. I actually brought up the weight of the sword before. Right here, Kirito fully realized while taking the sword head on, that it actually weighed several times that of his Night Sky sword. In other words, Alice can lift. By the way, really quickly, let me mention that I do have a full breakdown on the second Alicization opening. Go ahead and definitely check that out. Some of the hidden stuff in the opening have been revealed so far. And I also did include a major spoiler section at the end of that video, for those of you that want to know what's coming up. Anyway, question of the day. How much did you enjoy Kirito and Eugeo versus Alice? How do you rank the 4 Integrity Night fights so far? Is Alice on top for you? Oh, and how about that cliffhanger? Come on, has there been a better cliffhanger this season? But anyway, if you enjoyed this SAO video, smash the thumbs up and subscribe. If you are new to the channel, you can enjoy weekly SAO and anime videos from me right here. Go ahead and check out my new SAO Alicization opening breakdown, and also check out the top anime for 2018. That'll give you more juicy anime to watch. And I'll see you guys later.